Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagannatha Gopesha Gopikanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapt Kanchan Goprangi Radhe Vrindaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhiraye. Tulsi Radhe Golokananda Bhagwan ki Jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Praveen ji. कैसे
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु, हरे कृष्ण, भगवान कृपा है।
हरे कृष्णा एवरीवन।
हरे कृष्णा तरुण, हरे कृष्णा अजय,
हरे कृष्णा एवरीवन।
हरे कृष्णा सर।
रवि, हरे कृष्णा. Hello Jyoti, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Vijay.
Back from India.
Yes, yes. I know.
Nice to see you back. Thanks for joining. And so, yesterday we completed the chapter 10th of Canto 4, right? And those chapters are about Dhruv Maharaj. So, the last few chapters we were reading was about Dhruv Maharaj, like how Maharaj Dhruv, leaves the house because he gets upset. Dhruv Maharaj's father, and father's name is, what's Dhruv Maharaj's father's name? Uttanpad, yeah, Maharaj Uttanpad. And Maharaj Uttanpad was none other than the son of Shambhu Manu. Yeah, so Dhruv Maharaj Shambhu Manu ke putra hai. And Shambhu Manu, of course, as we know, Lord Brahma ji ke putra hai. And but Uttanpad Maharaj had Suruchi and Suniti as two wives. And Dhruv Maharaj Suniti ke putra the. Suruchi ke putra's name is Uttam. And when Dhruv Maharaj was young, he wanted to go and play on the lap of Uttanpad Maharaj. It didn't happen. Suruchi did not allow. And then Dhruv Maharaj got a Upadesh from Mother Suniti to go to the forest and do bhakti, right? And then when Dhruv Maharaj left, Narad Muni appeared in front of Dhruv Maharaj and he gave him the mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Dhruv Maharaj did an austere tapasya, and then Lord Vishnu appeared in front of him. And then Dhruv Maharaj did the tapasya, the glorification of Lord Vishnu. And that's what we heard yesterday. Yesterday at the end of the Satsang, we heard the stuti which Dhruv Maharaj did for Vishnu Bhagwan. And then, of course, Dhruv Maharaj went back home. But then Uttanpad Maharaj got Dhruv back home. He realized his mistake. And then at the end, as we saw, Uttanpad Maharaj appointed Maharaj Dhruv as the king of the whole planet. That time, Uttanpad Maharaj was the king of the whole planet, not just like some country, Bharat or something like the whole planet. So Dhruv Maharaj was the king of the whole planet. And then an event happened where his younger brother Uttam and the stepmother Suruchi, got killed in the forest by Yakshas. And because of that, there is a war going on, the fight going on between Dhruv Maharaj and the Yakshas. And that's what we have been reading. Yeah. So that's in Canto 4. We completed 3 cantos, Canto 4. Yesterday we completed chapter 10, which was about Dhruv Maharaj's fight with the Yakshas, right? And so now we'll start chapter 11, which is Shambhu Manu advises Dhruv Maharaj to stop fighting. Yeah. So we'll start with the text one. Ravi.
मैत्रेय उवाच निशम्य ददात मेव मृषीणां धुनीषी ध्रुवः सन्देधेस्त्र मुपस्पृश्य यन्नारायण निर्मितम्. Shri Maitreya said, "My dear Vidura, when Dhruva Maharaj heard the encouraging words of great sage, he performed the ecumana by touching water and then took up his arrow made by Lord Narayana and fixed it upon his bow." Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so like in the previous shlok, what we saw was Dhruv Maharaj was surrounded by like 130,000 yakshas. And they did all these mystic things where it was like the ocean was flowing towards Dhruv Maharaj and a lot of things were falling from the sky and things like that. So then all the Rishi Munis told Dhruv Maharaj to remember Lord Vasudeva, Lord Vishnu. So Dhruv Maharaj then heard the encouraging words of the great sages. Yeah. And then he performed the Achman by touching water and took up his arrow made by Lord Narayan and fixed it upon his bow. Yeah. It's a small, nice purport, Tarun. Tarun.
1 second. Dhruv Maharaj was given a specific arrow made by Lord Narayan himself, and he now fixed it upon his bow to finish the illusory atmosphere created by the yakshas. It is stated in the Bhagavad Gita 7.14, Mam eva ye prapadyante mayam etam taranti te. Without Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, no one is able to overcome the action of the illusory energy. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has also given us a nice weapon for this age, as stated in the Bhagavatam. Sangopan Gastra. In this age, the Naranastra, a weapon to drive away Maya, is the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra in pursuance of the associates of Lord Chaitanya, such as Advaita Prabhu, Nityananda, Gadadhara, and Srivasa. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So what is being mentioned is that Mam ivye prapadyante mayam itam taranti te basically means without Narayan, Lord Vishnu, right? The Supreme Personality of Godhead, no one is able to overcome the action of the illusory energy Maya, right? So we are all so attached to Maya. Without his grace, without the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, yeah, it's very difficult to overcome the Maya. And then so it's being mentioned that in this age of Kali Yuga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us that weapon, right? And what is that weapon? Is the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, right? Is chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, which addresses the Lord himself and his energy, right? So that's the chanting in this yuga of Kali. Yeah. So Ajay?
Sure. Can you make the font a little bigger, please?
So good?
Yeah. Sandhiyaman etasmin namaya guhar kanimirtaha chipram vineshu vidura klesha gyanoday yatha. As soon as Dhruv Maharaj joined the Naranastra arrow to his bow, the illusion created by yakshas was immediately vanquished, just as all the material pains and pleasures are vanquished when one becomes fully cognizant of self. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So the way it's being mentioned is Dhruv Maharaj, when he took the Narayana Astra, all the illusory Maya, Kshipram Vinesh, yeah, that disappeared. All the Maya of Yaksas is disappeared. And the way it's saying is Klesha Jnano Adaya Yatha. So when the knowledge becomes known, self-realization becomes known, all the pains, material pains and pleasures get vanquished, right? Is how it's being mentioned. And so here, Jyoti.
Krishna is like the sun, and Maya, or the illusory energy of Krishna, is like darkness. Darkness means absence of light. Similarly, Maya means absence of Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness and Maya are always there side by side. As soon as there is awakening of Krishna consciousness, all the illusory pains and pleasure of material existence are vanquished. Maya, Iten Tarana, Taranti, the constant chanting of the Maha Mantra will keep us always aloof from illusory energy of Maya. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Pravinji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. तस्यार शास्त्रम धनुष प्रयुज्यतः सुवर्ण पुंखाः कलहंसवाससः विनिसृता अविविशोदृदस्वदलं यथा वनं भीमरवाः शिखण्डिनः. Even as Dhruv Maharaj fixed the weapon made by Narayan Rishi onto his bow, a rose with golden shards and feathers like wings of a swan flew out from it. They entered the enemy soldiers with a great hissing sound, just as peacocks enter a forest with tumultuous crowing. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Jyoti.
कैस्याग्निधारैः प्रधाने शीलिमुखै रथस्ततोः पुण्यजना उपादृताः तमाभ्यावान् कुपित उदायादः सुपर्णमनु दपर्ण इवायः. Those sharp arrows dismayed the enemy soldiers, who became almost unconscious, but various yakshas on the battlefield, in a rage against Dhruva Maharaja, somehow or other collected their weapons and attacked. Just as serpents agitated by Garuda rushed towards Garuda with upraised hoods, all the yaksha soldiers prepared to overcome Dhruva Maharaja with their upraised weapons. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah? So the fight between Yaksas and Dhruv Maharaj is going on. Yeah? Ajay?
Satan pusht kair bhidavato muthe nikrit bahuru shirodharan ninaya lokam parmark karmandalam vajranti nirbidya yamudhvaritasah. When Dhruv Maharaj saw the yakshas coming forward, he immediately took his arrow and cut the enemies to pieces, separating their arms, legs, heads, and bellies from their bodies. He delivered the yaksha to the planetary system, which is situated above the sun globe and which is attainable only by the first-class brahmacharis who have never discharged their semen. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah? So what it says is that he delivered the Yaksas to the planetary system, which is situated above the sun globe. So like as we know, there are 14 planets, right? And Earth is planet number? Do you know where Earth is?
7.
Seventh, right? So we have 6 planets below us and 7 above us, 6 above us, right? And the topmost planet is the Brahmalok. That's where Lord Brahmaji resides. That's the Satyalok. What it is saying is that when a devotee like Dhruv Maharaj, yeah, even if he delivers the yakshas, right, in the war, they still go to the higher planetary system, is what is being mentioned. Yeah. It says like to be killed by the Lord or by his devotees auspicious for non-devotees. Yeah. So the Yakshas was killed indiscriminately by Dhruv Maharaj, but they attain the planetary system attainable only for brahmacharis. Yeah, is what is being mentioned here. Yeah. And yeah, it says that. So, but from Brahmalok also, after the time is over, they come back to the earth, right? But actual liberation is not possible unless one is in touch with the Supreme Lord in devotional service. It is said that Harim vina na mritim taranti. Without Krishna's mercy, no one can have liberation. Tarun?
Tana Hanyamanan Abhivikshaya Guhayakan Anagasas Chitra Ratena Purisha Otana Padim Kripaya Pitamaho Manujar Gado Pagata Saharshibhi. Translation. When Shambhu Manu saw that his grandson Dhruv Maharaj was killing so many of the yakshas who were not actually offenders, out of his great compassion, he approached Dhruva with great sages to give him good instruction. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So during the fight, Dhruv Maharaj was killing all these yakshas. So Uttanpad Kripya Pitamaho, right? So Pitamaho is the Shambhu Manu, right? Grandfather of Lord of Dhruv Maharaj, along with Sahar Rishi Bhi. So along with rishis, he appeared to give instructions to Dhruv Maharaj. Yeah. Isha.
Manor Uvacha Alam Vatsatiroshena Tamo Dvarena Papamana Yena Punya Janan Etan Avadi Sam Anagasaha. Lord Manu said, "My dear son, please stop. It is not good to become unnecessarily angry. It is the path to hellish life. Now you are going beyond the limit by killing yakshas who are actually not offenders." Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So Shambhu Manu is advising Dhruv Maharaj to stop fighting. Yeah. Pravinji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Nasmat pulochitam tat karma tayat sagarhitam badho yadupadeva nam rabdhaste kay kritainasam. My dear son, the killing of sinless yakshas which you have undertaken is not at all approved by authorities, and it doesn't benefit our family, which is supposed to know the laws of religion and irreligion. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Jyoti.
Nanvekasya paradhena prasangad bhavoho hataha bhrathurvadhavitha tena tvayanga bhrathruvatsala. My dear son, it has been proved that you are very much affectionate towards your brother and are greatly aggrieved at his being killed by the yakshas. But just consider for one yaksha's offense. you have killed many others who are innocent. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah? So Shambhanu is advising to stop fighting. Ravi?
Nayam margo pi sadhunam rishikeshanuvartinam yadatmanam paragriham pashu vabhut veshasam. One should not accept the body as the self and thus, like the animals, kill the bodies of others. This is especially forbidden by sedentary person who follow the path of devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So Shambhanu is advising, like the animals, you don't you don't kill others. So pashu what? Veshasham. And especially he's saying for sadhunam Rishikesh anuvartinam, the people who are devoted to Rishikesh, right? For path of devotional service, especially forbidden for them is what he is advising. And nice purport. So let's read this, Tarun.
The words sadhanam Rishikesha Nuvartinam are very significant. Sadhu means a saintly person. But who is a saintly person? A saintly person is he who follows the path of rendering service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Rishikesha. In the Narada Pancharatra, it is said, Rishikena Rishikesa Sevanam Bhatir Yuchate. The process of rendering favorable service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead with one's senses is called bhakti or devotional service. Therefore, who should a person who is already engaged in the service of the Lord engage himself in personal sense gratification? Dhruv Maharaj is advised here by Lord Manu that since he is a pure servitor of the Lord, why should he unnecessarily engage like the animals in the bodily concept of life? An animal thinks that the body of another animal is his food. Therefore, in the bodily concept of life, one animal attacks another. A human being, especially one who is a devotee of the Lord, should not act like this. A sadhu, a saintly devotee, is not supposed to kill animals unnecessarily. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Ajay?
Sure. Sarvabhutatma bhaven bhutavasam hari bhavan aradhyap duraradhyam vishnu istatam param padam. It is very difficult to achieve the spiritual abode of Hari in the Vaikuntha planets. But you are so fortunate that you are already destined to go that abode by worshipping him as supreme abode of all living entities. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so Shambhu Manu is saying to Dhruv Maharaj, very difficult to achieve the spiritual abode of Hari, right? You cannot just go back to the Godhead. Like it says, Dura Aradhyam Vishnu Stuparam Padam. It's very difficult, but you have already achieved that. You are destined to go that abode by worshipping him. Why is that? Because during the tapasya in the one, Lord Vishnu appeared and he himself, Lord Narayan, told him that after the pralaya, he'll get the Dhruv Tara, right? The Dhruv Tara we see. And after the big pralaya, right? When the big pralaya happens, after the Lord Brahma's age, right? Which is 300 trillion plus. So he will still remain after the each kalp. A kalp is 1 day of Brahma, right? 1 day of Lord Brahma, which is 4.32 billion years, right? There's a small pralaya which happens where all the other planets get devastated, but the Dhruv Tara still remains. But after the big pralaya, after the Lord Brahma's age, Maharaj Dhruv will go back to the Godhead. That was promised to him by Lord Narayan himself. So what Shambhu Manu is reminding him is that, hey, you are already destined to go to that abode by worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And who is he? As the supreme abode of all living entities, all of the living entities. Sarvabhuta Atma Bhavena Bhutavasam Harim Bhavan. He is in the all abode of all living entities, and you are destined to go, even though it's very difficult to achieve that. Yeah, is what Shambhu Manu is telling him, so that he can stop fighting. Yeah. Jyoti.
Sarvam Harena Nudhyata Stupa Samapi Sammataha Katam Tvavadhyam Kritavana Nushikshan Satamvrata. Because you are a pure devotee of the Lord, is always thinking of you, and you are also recognized by all his confidential devotees. Your life is meant for exemplary behavior, and therefore surprised why have you undertaken such an abominable task. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so Shambhu Manu is telling Maharaj Dhruv that you are a pure devotee of the Lord. The Lord is always thinking of, because for the pure devotees, the Lord is always thinking about them. Yeah, he says here, Satvam Harenu Dhyatasthya, right? And so why are you doing such an abominable task? What task? Why are you killing so many Akshas? Tvavadham. Why are you doing that? Because you should lead exemplary behavior. Kritvanu Anusikshan Satamvratam. Yeah, you should lead an exemplary behavior. So I am surprised. Why are you doing such an abominable task? Is what Dhruv Maharaj is being advised by Shambhu Manu. Yeah. Read this, Ajay. Ajay.
Dhruv Maharaj was a pure devotee and was accustomed to always thinking of the Lord. Reciprocally, the Lord always thinks of those pure devotees who think of him only, 24 hours a day. As a pure devotee does not know anything beyond the Lord, so the Lord does not know anything beyond his pure devotee. Shambhu Manu pointed out this fact to Dhruv Maharaj. Not only are you a pure devotee, but you are recognized by all pure devotees of the Lord. You should always act in such an exemplary way that the other may learn from you. Under the circumstances, it is surprising that you have killed so many faultless yakshas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Govinji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Titikshaya Karunaya Maitrya Chakilanjantu Samatvayancha Sarvatma Bhagavan Samprasidati. The Lord is very satisfied with his devotee when the devotee greets other people with tolerance, mercy, friendship, and equality. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So Shambhu Manu goes on to describe and remember the Lord to Dhruv Maharaj, that he is what? Titikshaya. He's like, he likes the people who have the intolerance, right? The tolerance, mercy, karunaya, maitriya, friendship, right? And friendship and equality. So he's asking Dhruv Maharaj to stop the fight. Again, a nice purpose. So let's read this. Isha.
It is a duty of an advanced devotee in the second stage of devotional perfection to act in accordance with this verse. There are 3 stages of devotional life. In the lowest stage, a devotee is simply concerned with the deity in the temple, and he worships the Lord with great devotion according to rules and regulations. In the second stage, the devotee is cognizant of his relationship with the Lord, his relationship with fellow devotees, his relationship with persons who are innocent, and his relationship with persons who are envious. Sometimes devotees are ill-treated by envious persons. It is advised that an advanced devotee should be tolerant. He should show complete mercy to persons who are ignorant or innocent. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. And Jyoti.
A preacher devotee is meant to show mercy to innocent persons whom he can elevate to devotional service. Everyone, by constitutional position is an eternal servant of God. Therefore, a devotee's business is to awaken everyone's Krishna consciousness. That is his mercy. As for a devotee's treatment of the other devotees who are his equals, he should maintain friendship with them. His general view should be to see every living entity as part of the Supreme Lord. Different living entities appear in different forms of dress, but according to the instruction of Bhagavad Gita, a learned person sees all living entities equally. Such treatment by the devotee is very much appreciated by the Supreme Lord. It is therefore said that a saintly person is always tolerant and merciful. He is a friend to everyone, never an enemy to anyone, and he is peaceful. There are some of the good qualities of a devotee. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yeah. So some of the good qualities of a devotee is described here, yeah. Tarun?
प्रसन्ने भगवती पुरुष प्राकृते गुणे गुणे हे विमुक्तो जीवनी वृत्त कतो ब्रह्मा निर्वाण मुच्यति. One who actually satisfies the Supreme Personality of Godhead during one's lifetime becomes liberated from the gross and subtle material conditions. Thus, being freed from all material modes of nature, he achieves unlimited spiritual bliss. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So who is saying this? Who is speaking right now?
Manu.
Shambhu Manu, yeah? And Shambhu Manu is speaking to whom?
Dhruv.
Dhruv Maharaj.
Maharaj Dhruv.
Yeah, right. He is advising Dhruv Maharaj to stop fighting. And then he's reminding him about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he's saying that one who actually satisfies the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? Sam prasanne bhagavati, purusha prakrite gune hai. What happens to him, right? With the pure devotional service, he becomes liberated from the gross and subtle material conditions. Vimukto and Jivarni Mukto. Yeah, gross and subtle material conditions. What does that mean? The gross is the Istul Sharir, right? This body is the gross body. And then we know about the subtle body, right? That is the Suksham Sharir. And what is the subtle body? Suksham Sharir composed of? What are the three elements of subtle body? Suksham Sharir. Remember? So we talked about that, right? So ego,
Man,
yeah,
Buddhi, and Ahankar.
man, buddhi, and ahankar, right? The subtle body, Suksham Sharir. Yeah, it is mentioned that at the time of death, the Suksham Sharir goes, the soul and the Suksham Sharir goes to the next body, right? Like we change the clothes, goes to the next body if you don't get liberated, right? So the Suksham Sharir is the ego, ahankar, man, mind, intelligence, buddhi, right? So those are the three elements of the Suksham Sharir. And we already know the gross body, which is made up of Panch Tattva, right? So, so what Shambhu Manu is saying is, Vi Mukto Jivani Mukto, like one who does the devotional service to the Lord Shri Krishna becomes liberated from the gross and subtle material conditions. And then what happens is he gets freed from all material modes of nature. Yeah? Prakrite Gune. What are the material modes of nature? There are three material modes of nature, right? Which are those?
Rajogun, Tamogun, Satogun.
Right, yeah. So Satogun, Rajogun, and Tamogun, mode of goodness, Satogun, mode of patience, which is Rajogun, mode of ignorance, which is Tamogun. It's mentioned that all three gunas are the ones once the conditioned soul gets attached to, and all the karmas are based on that. But if you do the devotional service, you become free from all that, you get freed from even the material modes of nature, and then Brahma Nirvanam Amritshati, right? He achieves the unlimited spiritual bliss. is what is being mentioned here. Yeah. And again, a very nice purport. Hare Krishna Rasikshyam Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. पढ़ेंगे?
The word samprasanne, which is used in the verse, means being satisfied. A person should act in such a way that the Lord is satisfied by the activity. It is not that he himself is to be satisfied. Of course, when the Lord is satisfied, the devotee automatically becomes satisfied. This is the secret of the process of Bhakti Yoga. Outside of the Bhakti Yoga, everyone is trying to satisfy himself. No one is trying to satisfy the Lord. Karmis grossly try to satisfy their senses, but even those who are elevated to the platform of knowledge also try to satisfy themselves. In the absolute form, subtle form. Karmis try to satisfy themselves by sense gratification, and Jnanis try to satisfy them by subtle activities or mental speculation and thinking themselves to be God. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so very, very important thing mentioned here. Like in this life, everyone is trying to satisfy themselves. And not only just simple people like us, but even people who are karmis, right? People who believe in the karma yoga, they are also trying to satisfy their senses by doing a good karma and all that. They feel happy and they want to do good karmas. At the same time, the people who are jnanis, right? People who are trying to do meditation and do the self-realization, they are also trying to satisfy themselves, right? On mental speculation and thinking themselves to be God, because they are also trying to realize themselves and try to satisfy them. But what is being mentioned is in the Bhakti Yoga, you are actually trying to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yeah. So that is a very important thing mentioned here. Like it is not that he himself is to be satisfied, right? He is trying to satisfy the Lord, but when the Lord is satisfied, the devotee automatically becomes satisfied. Yeah. So that's a very interesting part mentioned here. He says that, but only devotees try to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The devotee's process of self-realization is completely different from the process of the karmis, jnanis, and yogis. Everyone else is trying to satisfy himself, whereas the devotee tries only to satisfy the Lord. The devotional process is completely different from the others. By working to please the Lord by engaging his senses in the Lord's loving service, the devotee is immediately situated on the transcendental platform and he enjoys unlimited blissful life. Yeah. So very nicely mentioned about Bhakti Yoga. We are going to pause here. But again, I think in the coming shloks, Shambhu Manu continues to describe the Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to tell Dhruv Maharaj to stop fighting. But in the process, he describes about Lord Vishnu and how one should remember Lord Vishnu. Yeah. So I think again, so very nice thing, very nice shloks coming up. We'll see everyone to my tent. But since it's a Janmashtami week, thank you all for joining. It's very auspicious to read during Janmashtami week. And as we are just seeing the Bhakti Yoga, engaging our senses in Hari Katha, in Srimad Bhagavatam, in chanting is really what satisfies the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, today we are going to see for 5 to 7 minutes, we will see the Janmashtami celebration of the last year at Mayapur ISKCON temple. Yeah. So for 5 to 7 minutes, we'll see that and then we'll see you tomorrow. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And then next week, we'll see the live Janmashtami of this year. But this will remind us of the last year. So.
Hare Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate गोपिका कांत राधकांत नमस्ते। तत्कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरे। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी।
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 गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ
गिरिवरधारी।
गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी।
जय राधा माधव
जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी।
गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनन्दन ब्रज
ब्रज जानरांजन
जशोदनन्दन ब्रज जनराञ्जन।
यशोदनन्दन ब्रज जानरांजन।
जशोदानन्दन ब्रज जनराञ्जन।
यशोदनन्दन ब्रज जानरांजन।
जमुना तीरवर चारि।
यमुना
जमुना Jai Radha Jashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Krishna will continue to watch this tomorrow also. So see you tomorrow at 10 p.m., 7:30 a.m. India time. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Dev Krishna.
Hare Krishna.